Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Catherine, and I'm here for my reflections of the week. And I want to actually talk about a couple of things this week. I want to talk about being a foodie, my relationship with tomatoes. That's number one. Number two, I want to talk about um, the simple act of walking, of mobility. And number three, I'm going to chat a little bit about our upcoming Lipedema Awareness Month Bootcamp. Every week I see the glare in my glasses. I either get non glare glasses or heal my eyesight. Um, so let's start with my relationship with tomatoes. Um, I'm Italian. Give me the one food that we think is a vegetable, but turns out it's a fruit that I have pretty much eaten as much as I could, whenever I could. As I was growing up, it was in salads, it was in um, pasta, and as a sauce on almost everything. My mother made the best, we didn't call it sauce, gravy. She made the best gravy. I have that recipe. I make a terrific gravy. And over lately, Rouse you can buy in a jar is really terrific and doesn't take 2 days to make. It's also very low in carbs. I can go on and on and on. Over the past, I guess now it's 45 or 47 days, I have been on an elimination diet. During our symposium the end of April, it's actually May 1st that I started. We had a number of experts on carnivore, which is animal sourced protein. And I had tried it before, it had worked, but I'm a plant based gal. I mean, I love salads, vegetables. If you've been on any of these, you've heard me talk about Brussels sprouts a lot. Though broccoli, cauliflower, they're all cruciferous vegetables. But so I am committed to 90 days of carnivore. But I did have some and put a little bit of tomato sauce on it. Oh, here's Karamia. She came to say hi. Uh, and and I had a reaction to it. Now, one of the things they say about an elimination diet is you eliminate everything and then you introduce it back in and you track it. You see what happens. So I did that. I um, I tried it, then I skipped it for a day or two, and I was fine. And then I tried it again. I tried tomato sauce, and same reaction. What was the reaction? I felt foggy. I felt brain fog. I felt like queasy, not nauseous, but just a little bit queasy. I almost felt like I'd had um, alcohol. It was that kind of a reaction. So tomatoes are in the what's called the nightshade family, and I have had the awareness that I don't do so well with nightshades. And since two of my favorite vegetables are considered nightshades, eggplant and tomatoes, I haven't really been wanting to accept it. So the tomato sauce didn't fare well. So my mind, remember, we can be very determined. I decided, well, maybe it's because it was processed, right? Tomato sauce in jars, processed. Let me try real tomatoes. So I ordered some real tomatoes, organic, of course. Only two, thank God. Only two, because I actually was going to order a whole container, but I didn't. I stopped myself. So I had those 2 tomatoes yesterday with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit sprinkle of um, balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of goat cheese, the soft goat cheese. It was delicious. I love it. And within an hour, I was feeling groggy. I was feeling queasy. I was feeling like brain fog. And I was like, you know, I have to just acknowledge that that's what's going on. My mind wants to go to, well, I'm still recovering from COVID. That could be it. Um, but I'm here to say I don't do well with nightshades. And so I ask you, one of the things that we emphasize in all of the work we do at Lipedema Simplified and our research at Lipedema Project is N equals one. Dave Feldman talks about citizen scientists, that we are our own laboratories. The idea that I could get so aware to that kind of sensitization is miraculous, just miraculous, given that I come from a background not only of lipedema and lymphedema, but of compulsive eating. I'm a foodie. I'm I mean, from where I started to now, I would say I'm at about 3%. If I started at 100%, there are some things that I still um, like tomatoes. Like I'm like, I was gonna try as many times as I could until I got the right response, but wasn't gonna happen. That doesn't mean that I probably won't eat tomatoes again someday in my future, but I now know pretty much my N equals one gave me evidence and results. So that's one of the things that we suggest, recommend, support is learning your own body. And this is where I'm going to actually share this quote that I share all the time. If you've been around any of our work, you've heard it, but I'm going to say it again because this is at the essence and is a lead in to my conversation with you about walking. I found this quote years ago, and every single time that I read it, I would cry. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. And I want to say that it's not a simple and straight and narrow process. It's one that is very convoluted. I mean, that battleground that I live with, you know, in my body, which is my body, has softened, has become gentle, has become much uh, just last week. I was just I meditation is one of my practices. I love it. It helps me, and I'd had a really good meditation, and I found myself just focusing on my body and feeling love and compassion and self-compassion. And it shocked, it was a bit shocking. I was like, oh, where did that come from? So all the work that we're doing is working. And I think another piece of that is I do very well with goals that are set to timelines. And so for the past several weeks, I think it's been 4 weeks, I started to walk every day. And I haven't shared much about it because the last time I tried it, I got sick. I got COVID and was pretty much down and out for a couple of months. So I started again. And first of all, I was really pissed off because before I got COVID, I had been doing physical therapy and I had been walking and I had gotten I was doing better, and then COVID just did me under. And I had a bad case. I mean, some people have easy cases. This is my cat. some some people have easy cases, and mine wasn't. You know, if it wasn't for the medication, I think I would have, yeah, I would have ended up in the hospital. So, Karami is here and wanting to say hello as well. So, the walking. So, I started to walk around the block. This is not a huge hike. I'm talking about around the block in my residential neighborhood. I couldn't and I still can't get around the block without having to stop at least one or two and sometimes three times. I'm out of breath because of COVID still. I'm trying to regain my breath back. And part of it is also I'm out of shape. And through all of this, um, so much, so many blessings. Many of you know Anjay. Anjay is our meditation, one of our two meditation teachers. And so he offered to walk with me. Now, he lives in Korea, South Korea, in Seoul, and I'm here, and it's like 14 hours difference. But he said, dial in Zoom and I'll walk with you. So that's what we've been doing. And as I'm walking, he says, you're doing good. Just keep going. Be careful. I want you to make sure you watch where you're walking. And anyway, it's been such a blessing. And I can see the other piece is I was a little pissed off because I had worked so hard to make progress, and then I got sick, and then it was like starting from the beginning again. And but here I am, and I'm here to say that it actually has made such a huge difference. It's actually been so energizing, and I want to say I think that's why the example that I used of being able to feel into love and compassion and self compassion for my body felt like a miracle. And I think part of it is the walking every day, the consistency, the taking care of myself. The, you know, there was a few weeks there where I felt like giving up and just like, heck, I'm old. I'm 73. I'm old. Why don't I just throw in the towel? But thank God for good friends. Thank God for that determination that each one of us, I believe, has, or we wouldn't be hanging in there. It was like, all right, let me start again. Because the walking, just the walking every day, helps to begin to become more embodied. And it's through embodiment that we can really heal ourselves. At least that's my belief, and I'm looking for evidence of it. So that leads me into the invitation. Oh, let me see if I can find it. The invitation to our Lipedema Awareness Month Bootcamp. I think this is it. Yes, it is. We have a 3-day boot camp coming up June 24th, 25th, and 26th, and it is unprecedented. We have not had anything like this before. We've had pieces of it, but we're having an entire 3-day where the majority, there'll be expert talks. We have a lot of new people who have come in, so we'll be doing what is lipedema. Is it really your fault? Or it's really not your fault. I believe Dr. Carmody's coming. Leslin and Brian are doing a whole segment on pain and pain relief and how do you do that. And Gail and I are going to be talking more about community and belonging, which is something that we all as humans need, is that sense of belonging and self-love and self-compassion. And Siobhan is going to be doing a presentation on Is Fat the Enemy? Because it has been for me. So we're going to find out more interesting things about it. But So much of it is going to be a lot of breakouts and a lot of group sharing and discovering from one another. So I'm going to end today and say, join us if you haven't already signed up. When you sign up, you're signing up for a lot of activities. Come to the ones you want. You don't have to come to all of them. Obviously, we have stretching classes with Gail and Miranda. We have research updates with Leslin. We have a number of these activities. You'll get a calendar and it'll show you everything. But specifically, you'll get a link where you just have to click it and you'll be signed up for the boot camp. You have to register for the boot camp. It's not just registering for the Lipedema Awareness Months. That covers all these activities. But the boot camp is like a 3-day mini symposium. But again, it's unprecedented because it's your voice that's the most important in this symposium. So I hope you come. I hope you join us. I hope we see you on the inside. That's what they say. Inside meaning in the Zoom. And I want to end with this quote that I love and has really been a guiding force for me. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a deep breath, a long breath, a long, deep breath, and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. Many blessings. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you soon. Take care.